Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Hero of the Reich, defender of the fatherland, and of course, as always, here to deliver some wonderful propaganda for you and some casts while we're at it. So, of course, as some of you might already be noticing, we're having a 1 versus 1 on Angoville, and I do believe this is going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be a different fight, at least in some parts, and we'll be holding some interesting bits, and there's also going to be a slight surprise, which I shall be revealing shortly. But of course, let's just sort of draft up Angoville, sort of divided through half here by this road, going for everything. Bocage sort of also creating a division, but also sort of, if you notice the right side, lots of buildings, lots of further bocage, lots of sort of light cover, making it a lot more compartmentalized. Of course, also a bit harder to defend, in some ways easier to defend, but also a lot of creeping, sneaking about. And of course, harassment of particularly this strategic point. The other side, the left side, is more open, and thus tends to be more favored by the Wehrmacht, since they can create more easily some fields of fire and cutting down Yankees out in the open, since the Americans will have a lot harder to actually cling to any sort of cover and sneak up directly from other points. Although here from the east, of course, is possible, but then again, someone might be so sneaky and lay down some mines, perhaps some barbed wire. Now then, let us go have a look at our opponents. In the southern corner, we shall be seeing, and yes, indeed, some of you might already be noticing, wait, this isn't right. Those pioneers, they look funny. And yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, I have decided to use some skin packs. Finally being tired, well, I figured, why not? So I'm using a combination of two skin packs. One is called the France 1944 skin pack, and the other is Half Tracks, which is his name on the Relic News forums. Skin pack for the Wehrmacht. Add some nice features. I might also be using his American one, but it's basically sort of a larger thing. Also to add in some vehicle skins. I might finally get some other ones, but there we go. So already here we're having some slightly different pioneers. Pioneers of the 352nd Grenadier Division. Ja, meine Damen und Herren. Und who shall be fighting against him? It shall be Cheezburglar, who's also getting some slightly new skins there. Some engineers looking slightly more fresh and daring. Slightly more green. So there you go. And he shall be fighting for the 3rd Armored Division. Hussar! Tanks and all that. And let us, in fact, get right down to it. Cheezburglar his troops outwards, whereas IllusionorTruth of the 352nd immediately sets up the Wehrmacht quarters. Pioneers working away diligently in their new uniforms. Second pioneer team ready. Barracks sort of still going up, and yes, there's also some flags added in by that France 1944. I'll add in some links or something like that, if I remember, in the sort of channel page, or on the channel page, so people can go there whenever they want to and have an idea. I can't guarantee that every link will be working, but there we go. Wehrmacht quarters is up, Volksgrenadiers on the way, and they'll also be looking a bit differently. Of course, I'll give you a brief tour of that. Engineers heading outwards, barracks up. In fact, Cheezburglar is only going for one engineer start, so he's saving up a lot of manpower to really get the most out of the barracks right away. No waiting about. Riflemen, more riflemen. Yes. Got a bit caught away there. But pioneers beginning to secure territory in the west, again sort of favoring the more open territories, and there we go. Volksgrenadiers in sort of mismatching uniforms, some with helmets of different kinds, one with a cap. So that's already some nice visual difference there. Yes, there's some model variations right there, which is rather one of the reasons I like Half Tracks, because he's one that actually added it into the game. Sadly, Relic never really got around to doing any sort of more extensive work with the skins, which is rather something I always found a bit disappointing. I mean, my favorite example would have been, for example, if you think of the Quarantine missions in the Company of Heroes American campaign. On one map, you're fighting the 6th Fallschirmjäger Regiment. Next, you're fighting the 17th SS. I mean, imagine if they'd actually looked like their counterparts rather than just your generic Wehrmacht forces. That's sort of the thing I would have been nice to know before, but nonetheless, we get these chaps. Riflemen here, looking nice and gritty, advancing towards these, while these Volksgrenadiers are immediately laying down some barbed wire, hoping to deny the Amerikanische their cover. And of course, mismatching uniforms, which in particular wasn't exactly unknown for the Volksgrenadiers, or in this case also the 352nd, since they had to make do with whatever could be rounded up, which in particular included some old Afrika Korps uniforms. Second team of Volksgrenadier arriving. Also heading northwards. Although securing some territory on there, and the Volksgrenadiers securing here. Lots of barbed wire to deny your opponent's cover. Pioneer securing territory there. Looks like the Americans are seizing up for an assault moving in before he has sort of the drop on them. And 3 riflemen teams already, although looks one is not being pulled in. And these Volksgrenadiers are right out in the middle of it, just as they were trying to lay down some more barbed wire. Pioneers getting engaged. Second team of Volksgrenadiers just standing about. Illusioner Truth, move your men or lose them. Pioneers retreating, one gets gunned down. Riflemen arriving, catching these Volksgrenadiers out in the middle of the hedges on both sides. But Volksgrenadiers moving in from the south. However, shall these Volksgrenadiers right caught in the middle of everything survive? But Volksgrenadier team number 1 getting the drop on these Americans, gunning down one right away. Other Volksgrenadier team pulling away. Riflemen, all rifleman teams, in fact, looks like they'll be converging, and these Volksgrenadiers are now standing on the wrong side again. They haven't moved to better cover. Oh dear, IllusionorTruth, your men are getting slaughtered. Riflemen are taking a bit of a beating right there, but not quite like these Volksgrenadiers. MG42 setting up to support this. And there we go, catching the riflemen out in the open, suppressing one and sending the other scurrying away towards the home base. Slight victory there for the Wehrmacht off the bat. Second MG42 team on the way, not unusual, and already there again due to the sort of only going for 1 engineer. He's already at this stage, before there's even 4 minutes, got 4 rifleman teams. That's quite extensive, and he's certainly going for the really aggressive approach, this Cheezburglar of cheeses. Volksgrenadiers getting engaged, trying to pull back towards better cover. Could have perhaps set up some sandbags in advance. But MG42 team covering, and there we go, opening up. Also sort of slightly different, some with camouflage, some without. Interestingly enough, none of the Volksgrenadiers actually have it. I do believe they're actually supposed to have it. Oh dear, can't remember. I might take that up with the chap who made this. And riflemen flanking the MG42, quite unfortunate, but another MG42 set up to cover the first one. And the first one actually retreats, leaving behind the Volksgrenadiers out in the open. But MG42 number 2 opens up on the riflemen, suppressing the buggers, and there we go. Running away, and some units are lost up in the north. Quite unfortunate. Pioneers gunned down. Looks like this one is vomiting. No, he's not. MG42's advancing. Apparently lots of camouflage uniforms there. None for the Volksgrenadiers. Poor sots. But they do get some snazzy gloves. And what else is going on in IllusionorTruth? Nothing as of yet. He's got quite a bit of manpower, quite a bit of fuel. Question is what he'll be using for. What shall he be doing with it? Pioneers laying down mines to cover the flank. Good choice there, although the Americans are currently holding most of the area and already wiring off this area, making it much harder for the Wehrmacht of the 352nd to push through there. Volksgrenadiers in the north trying to lay down barbed wire, but again, keep in mind when you're laying down barbed wire, when you're doing stuff like this, your troops become much easier targets and they take more damage. So again, be careful with that and be ready to get the devil out of there. Only 1 Volksgrenadier left, running away. Riflemen hit a mine, 4 dead right away. American flanking about again. Quite a bit of manpower already on the field, and IllusionorTruth floating quite a bit as well, and fuel. Riflemen running straight into the MG42, but the other are flanking the MG42, but Volksgrenadiers are flanking them. Flanking everywhere. Who's getting flanked, and who's the flanker and flanky, and flank this. Now the riflemen are charging ahead. Volksgrenadiers and MG42 once more caught out in the open. MG42 taking up in a slightly rear position, not advancing too far. Pioneers sort of also hanging back, and Volksgrenadiers need to retreat down to 2 men in the face of 6 riflemen of the evil Cheezburglar's troops. Phew. Skirmish phase on the way with the promised Krieg barracks. Lots of riflemen getting reinforced, but really Cheezburglar has been able to quite keep up the pressure, although I'm sure Mr. IllusionorTruth has been taking quite a beating in the process as well. Question is though, who's had it worse? Quite a bit of munitions though for IllusionorTruth. Could be used for flamethrowers, MP40s, mines, more mines, and mines. Riflemen are advancing once more under the steady gaze of Cheezburglar, always securely commanding his troops, confident in victory for Uncle Sam. And the Star-Spangled Banner, which is currently getting raised right there, or it's a dirty rag. No, it was the Star-Spangled Banner. And there we go, going for the fuel again. IllusionorTruth under quite a bit of pressure. Pioneers heading towards the east. Tank traps being laid down there, sort of a combination of tank traps, barbed wire, thus to make it difficult for anyone to move through. Though then again, a Goliath could in fact clear it all up, and Pioneers could just clear out the barbed wire. Americans advancing, sort of trying to hide behind the barbed wire, but not really getting any of the cover. Caught out in the open. Oh dear, Volksgrenadiers advancing. MG42's opening up. Sniper on the way as well. with a cap as roundly. Apparently he's feeling rather jaunty. No, is it a helmet? No, it's a jaunty little cap. Yes, indeed. This sniper, hoping to perhaps disguise himself in case he's caught, he's going to say, well, no, I'm a Volksgrenadier. Look at my cap. I couldn't be a sniper. No, I have poor eyesight. Who are you? Are you my friend? Are you Hans? So there you go. My engineers laying down mines. This is good. Very good. Mine here, except if you're the Wehrmacht, you're probably going to run into them. Motor pool going up. Good show right there. Again, lots of riflemen. Quite aggressive. MG42 setting up, although it might want to use some sandbags. Sniper hiding here. Volksgun is continuing the wire work. And then getting the devil out of there. Second MG42 still covering here, ready to cover this approach. As we can notice here with this arc, although it doesn't quite have the line of sight for it. And Volksgun is trying to take point, but they don't really have any cover. They should have laid down some sandbags before, I can't help but feel. Volksgun is right here, getting gunned down. Oh dear, sniper though, opening up, sniping down those Yankees. Riflemen suppressed, under fire. And getting ready to move through here. Engineers with flamethrower, but the MG42 opens up, suppressing the riflemen. The engineers also retreat, but not getting suppressed, but now they're forced to run the gauntlet of doom, of death, of the Iron Cross. And the sniper, will he get the hit? Will he get the hit? No. Sadly not. Creek Barracks is up, Pack 38 on the way. No grenadiers as of yet. But certainly not a bad combination, and certainly you're seeing a lot of snipers. How will our friend Cheezburglar react to this? Well, he's certainly not lost too much infantry again. Good unit preservation. Know when to get the bloody hell out of there when things are looking bad. That's an imperative skill to learn sooner or later, preferably sooner, because then you can really make it far. And Pioneers getting engaged by flamethrowers. Pioneers, rather realizing they're a bit too flammable to get engaged that, they are running away. Pack 38 is ready, being pushed forwards under the supervision of someone with a gun. Keep moving or I'll shoot. But we're on the same side. In your dreams. No. Barbed wire getting laid down right there again. Sort of good usage of barbed wire, actually making it much harder for his opponent to move through, and in this case to funnel them into a kill zone right here between this MG42. Good show, actually. So he's rather creating a strong point right here. Whatever could he possibly be thinking? Perhaps he's sort of hoping to sort of funnel his forces towards it and make a direct assault on the base, sort of creeping forwards viciously. And engineers laying down mines right here. And let us go have a look at our friend, Mr. Cheezburglar. Volksgun is getting engaged by riflemen. Riflemen hiding here. And a weapon support center up. No vehicles as of yet from the motor pool. And what is this? Laying down a sort of fortification here for the MG42 gunners, ensuring they can't be flanked. At least they'll have plenty of protection, looks like so far. A small bastion. Riflemen are moving forward. MG42 opening up. Opening up, suppressing. Yes, there we go. Volksgunners need to join in as well. Come on, fire. Don't lay down sandbags. You need to suppress. Flamethrower engineers. And what is this? A grenade. Oh my goodness. Absolutely horrific damage. Killing several MG42 gunners and Volksgrenadiers, causing quite a bit of damage. Again, they should have focused down rather than trying to lay down a nice sandbagged gazebo. And riflemen now charging through from the north. Veterans 1, and of course this means that Cheezburglar has gone for grenades. My goodness, Volksgrenadiers holding the line in their sort of mismatched uniforms and helmets, opening up. Riflemen charging ahead for Uncle Sam. Sniper opening up, and now Grenadiers are advancing. Looking a bit more uniform and looking a bit more snappily dressed. No caps for them. And certainly no mismatched uniforms from wherever they could be secured. Riflemen taking a beating in the face of the Grenadieren of the 352nd, the Ostfront Veteranen of the division. And more Grenadiers are arriving, although it looks like this one got a slightly brown uniform. Still, nonetheless, pushing forward for the fatherland, for sauerkraut, for beer. And of course an Iron Cross, hopefully in one day. Riflemen once more gathering up. A Trias center could be nice, or a perhaps, oh I don't know, a medic station as always, and looks like he's pushing through here in the east. Always pushing, and looks like some barbed wire being laid down here by Cheezburglar and his flamethrower engineers. Pioneers charging forwards, getting burned, and oh dear, setting off a mine, getting themselves killed. Most tragic, while the Grenadiers moving here for a bit of harassment. Sneaky. Sniper getting ready. Riflemen moving in to support. No MG42 hiding there, no more. But these Grenadiers are taking up in a nice defensive position, waiting for the rest to advance. Lots of MG42s. And Volkswagen is advancing as well. Quite a solid force. Grenadiers engaging the riflemen. Snipers firing away, of course. And again, this is sort of the key to counter-sniping, that is. And this, of course, is what Cheezburglar is doing. That is, do not reveal your sniper until you've gotten his. Otherwise, if your opponent knows, in this case, the one with the jaunty cat there rather figures out, oh, bugger, he's sending in a sniper to get my own sniper, he's going to get a lot more careful. On the other hand, if he thinks you don't have a sniper, he's going to be a lot more careless. He's just going to be firing away like it was Christmas or something like that. In which case, you're going to have a much greater chance of actually getting his sniper. So keep that in mind. It's a very important trick in the counter-sniping business. And riflemen charging the grenadiers, but the grenadiers gun them down. A grenade thrown, but no luck there. American sniper not having much luck. In fact, he could be caught by the grenadiers. That would be most tragic. Engineers getting engaged. Grenadiers advancing towards the small sandbag redoubt. And the engineers are, oh dear, very, very buggered up. And Grenadiers here getting engaged. Grenades getting locked. Grenadiers need to retreat lest they drop their Panzerschreck into the hands of the armies. And there we go, running. Running as fast as their legs can carry them. And the sniper, my goodness, he's just standing about. Tempting fate. And then he just cloaks. That was quite fortunate. And now, of course, sort of laying down some barbed wire here to sort of prevent the... Oh, right, that was just some... I suppose fan whisper. Always nice. Of course, I can't respond while I'm watching a replay. You can't do that. So if you ever do that and I'm not responding, it's usually because I'm watching a replay, and it's not because for some reason I don't like you. I like all of my fans, except the American ones. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. And a grenade right there again, able to get close because this time the oh dear, lots of grenades. And the MG42 cleared out. Sniper, though, got suppressed. Of course, the Wehrmacht isn't aware of this. 352nd, though, holding out. Lots of ad hoc troops being thrown into the fight. Blasting away with guns, rifles, all that stuff. Pack 38 covering. Bunker up. Not bunker down. Sniper awfully close to getting discovered. Volkswagen is holding up. Oh, they are a bit clumped up. One grenade. But riflemen are now caught out in this whirlwind of fire of the Kar-98Ks, and riflemen once more trying to flank but getting stopped by the MG42, and some pioneers heroically holding the line. And now they're forced to run past through all these Volkswagens, but Veterans 1 in this case actually helps them. It makes riflemen somewhat harder to actually hit. Yes, indeed, riflemen also gain some survivability bonuses, which can actually be quite more effective than elite armor because it affects everything. Flamethrowers, snipers, artillery, tanks. Whereas elite armor only affects small arms, fire, and some other tiny bits. But it doesn't affect tank fire. In fact, it leaves them more vulnerable to flamethrowers and all that nasty business. What's going on here? Nothing as of yet. Cheezburglar getting ready for another assault. Although, again, he could use the triage center. Engineers securing what they can here. MG42 secured here by some grenadiers, it looks like. No, false grenadiers. Grenadiers retreating, although choosing a medic pack right at the wrong point, right out in the middle of the enemy field. Riflemen charging ahead, and again barbed wire to sort of make it harder to sort of charge directly at the MG42. That's rather what barbed wiring is about, not just denying your opponent paths, because that's only going to be temporary, but you can't do something else. You can make it a lot harder for your opponent to move about, and you might notice there that barbed wire is serving that purpose quite well. Grenadiers charging ahead with false grenadier support now. Oh dear, some riflemen are dying. Other riflemen are charging ahead. Veterans 1 in this case, although some are still getting killed. MG42 false grenadiers, and oh dear, a grenade flopped right into this. Oh dear, heavy losses for the 352nd one of their teams. Nothing yet, although mines being laid down right here, nothing else going on. Grenadiers, I can't help but feel he perhaps might want to get something a bit more advanced, although it looks like there. Yes indeed, a half track, and yes indeed, a bit of a skin there. That's the France 1944 modification skin pack. I mean, not really a modification, it's basically just skin, so it doesn't really count as a modification, which of course means you can't use it online, I believe. At least I hope so. I intend to. Again, once more the duel of the snipers. This one again blissfully unaware that there's an American sniper hoping to place a bullet right between his eyes. More barbed wire. Half track to act as a frontal reinforcement point, and watch this, it's charging ahead. Using the false grenadiers to man the gun. I'm not entirely keen on that. I prefer using pioneers, then you can afterwards pop them up to repair in case of damage. Riflemen taking quite a bit of damage. And retreating in the face of all this MG fire. Pioneers advancing right through all this mess. And beginning to secure territory there. Good show there. And now the half track is apparently just charging ahead, and looks like our friend of the 3rd Armour Division, Cheezburglar, has gone for armour doctrine, really cementing the armour business. Although, interestingly enough, he's not used the motor pool at all. No armoured cars, no anti-tank guns, no half-tracks, no anything. Rifleman getting gunned down by the tricky and sneaky half-track. Tunderkraftfahrzeug 251. Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen. Not Wagen. Bloody hell. Of course, there were sort of minor variations. There were mortar half-tracks also for it. There were anti-tank half-tracks sort of with a Pack 40. There were even some A variants, I believe. And of course the flamethrower variants, as there's one upgrade for that. Motorbike now advancing as well. Could be, if has he perhaps spotted the Americans now and wants to sort of deal with him. Half-track needs to be careful though. Rifleman moving in. And the bike is taking quite a shooting. Medic bunker is ready. Grenadiers ready as well. Fultz Grenadiers also advancing. Cheezburglar, though, is still holding most of the territory and can certainly push the advantage, though then again, not like IllusionorTruth isn't doing some damage, but again, he needs to sort of do something with it. He needs to sort of advance the fight. He needs to get to the assault phase so he can actually push the assault rather than sort of stand about now. And Rifleman once more getting gunned out, but really, Cheezburglar is holding the long end. He basically just needs to keep attacking occasionally to sort of keep IllusionorTruth's forces inside that tiny perimeter, while he's basically holding most of the map. And as you might have noticed, there's quite a difference in victory points being held by either side. Engineers laying down mines here, Rifleman hanging about, sort of being cool. All very quiet for the moment. And looks like we're seeing a Panzer command right away. Apparently calling upon aid of the 2nd Panzer Division to provide some armoured assets. Volksgrenadiers now with MP40s charging forwards. Submachine guns blazing. Rifleman making a run for it. Will they make it? Will they make it? Hoping to lure in the Volksgrenadiers into a mine. Clever, clever. There we go. Pinned down. And the engineers move in with flamethrowers, causing the Volksgrenadiers to make one hurried run for it. Half-track, though, dashes in to save the situation and do some damage to the armies. The Amerikaner. All very quiet, and the half-track leaves once more. Not a bad idea. You don't want to have them out to open too much. Panzer command still going up. Riflemen sort of hanging about. No trios in it yet. Half-track coming under fire from the 30 cal machine gun. And it looks like the Pack has advanced to actually open fire on the American base. It looks like he's creeping forwards and sort of just hoping to slowly but surely creep his way into the American base, sort of blast his way quite methodically, although I can't help but feel he needs a bit more than just a Pack 38. I mean, he could, for example, I don't know, have gotten a mortar, or then again he's going for the Panzer command, so he might be going some Panzers. BAR's now getting equipped for the rifle, and that's only going to make them that much more lethal and make things a lot harder for IllusionorTruth, who's been holding on just somewhat, who's interesting enough has 6 command points but hasn't been using a single one. I can't help but feel that is a major problem. Half-track taking quite a bit of damage, crashing through the barbed wire though. Needs to get away, Grenadiers, MG42 holding the line, but Riflemen are advancing. Grenade at the Pack 38. Oh dear, clearing out grenades at the Grenadiers as well. Everything gets grenaded. Quite a bit of veterans. 2 veterans, 2 Riflemen fighting in the west as well. Volksgrenadiers trying to break through with Pioneer support. Oh my goodness. And what's going on in the Panzer command? Absolutely nothing. No wait, it's an Ostwind, which of course didn't really serve in Normandy, I believe. Then again, I suppose it could have, although rather, for some reason I'm rather keen on the Möbelwagen or the Flak Panzer 38T, but still not a bad tank. And there we go, Pioneers forced away by Engineers. And Pack 38 has been recruited, although the crew is awfully wounded. Grenadiers getting reinforced, lots of Panzerschrecks, but I can't help but feeling perhaps when I wanted to go for a Panzer IV in the longer run. 57mm anti-tank gun ready. Grenadiers going for the counter-attack. MG42 opening up on the Riflemen, suppressing them. And other riflemen are charging ahead as well. Oh dear, this could end up badly for Cheezburglar. He's trying his best, but the barbed wire and the fire being directed is too much. But no, rifleman has sneaked through on the left. Grenade being dropped once more into this small defensive position. Oh, they're almost clearing out the MG42 gunners. Almost, but not quite. And there we go. Ostwind Flak Panzer is ready. Crew ready with their jaunty little caps. Nicely modelled there by whoever did that. And a mortar has been prepared as well. Getting ready to advance forwards. The 8cm mortar was one of the most common Wehrmacht mortars. They certainly were quite proficient with it. Although they did also use a 120mm mortar. Pretty heavy for one, in fact. Then again, it was basically a Russian mortar that had been completely copied. In fact, they also used basically the Russian ones. In fact, a lot of the Axis sides, including Hungary and Romania, basically also copied it and used it because, well, it was a pretty good design. Of course, a 120mm mortar might have been a bit too much. Obviously didn't make it into the things here. And rifleman getting gunned down quite brutally, and once more making a run for the MG42. Bike providing a bit of fire support, but once more the riflemen are making their way through there. Barbed wire no longer providing protection, and no mines to sort of protect. Grenade once more, the MG42 clearing it out, leaving the flank open. The veterancy, two riflemen can continue the spree of doom and destruction. Mortar team lost. Company commander has 8 points, but he's not using it. And veterancy 3, the bike is burning. Veterancy 3 riflemen. Hell's Devils, absolutely lethal. Grenades getting lobbed at them. Only one dies. And now the Ostwind has arrived. Another veterancy 3 rifleman team. 2 veterancy 3 rifleman team. Absolutely insane. And they have a Panzerschreck. Oh dear, this is time for the IllusionorTruth to get very, very worried. In particular, since he's just lost all of his grenadier teams. And his mortar. And he barely has any infantry left. Some Volksgrenadiers. The sniper is still surprisingly alive though, but lacking a lot else. Quite a bit of munitions though, which could be harnessed into something powerful. Half-track getting scavenged. Another Ostwind on the way, although I can't able to feel any more infantry is needed. Although our grenadier team is reformed. Goodness gracious, that's nice. Certainly going to be helping IllusionorTruth and the 352nd. The 352nd, one of the divisions that did the best in the Normandy sector, in particular considering they were basically just reformed troops with only a few veteran troops, and they were rather poorly supplied. Volksgrenadiers, Marine snipers as well. Mortar recruit. Oh dear, that was a bit of a waste of infantry, in particular veterancy 3 infantry. But MG42 gets taken by the Americans, and they make a run for it, stealing it in broad daylight. American thieves. Can the Wehrmacht ever trust its own valuables not to be nicked by those Yankees? Volksgrenadiers taking quite a beating. BAR veteran riflemen just blasting away. And veteran 3 riflemen with the Panzerschreck. Oh dear, and of course it's going to be a lot more accurate due to the American accuracy bonus, plus do a lot more damage. One shot and that Ostwind, there we go, almost completely knocked out. Again, that a veterancy 3 rifleman team with a Panzerschreck is the last thing a Wehrmacht commander wants. That's somewhere along in the top 10 of worst nightmares possible. That's a veterancy 3 rifleman team with a Panzerschreck. Throw in an LMG-42 and he's not going to be sleeping well that night. He's going to be traumatized. Volksgrenadiers getting ready again. Yeah. My tongue acting up as well. Apparently haven't been infected by fraps. Damn you fraps. MG42 hiding as well. Lots of riflemen, BARs, galore, and veterancy. Like no other thing. And the Wehrmacht troops haven't even gotten any veterancy. It's a bit unfortunate, but there we go. Kampfkraft Center there to deliver the Kampfkraft to the Kampftruppen of the Kampfgruppe Illusion. Ostwind's taking quite a beating. Not really the sort of thing meant to actually take hits from a flak panzer. A Panzer IV would have been a bit more help, I feel. And some veterancy for them. MG42 hiding in the medic bunker there to deliver something else than healing. But death. Oh, so very quiet at the moment. Troops securing right here in the east. Americans pushing forward slowly but surely. MG42 covering the way. Quite a few command points again. I can't help but wonder he's just wasting it. I mean, he could really have done a lot more. I mean, Blitzkrieg could have given him some good units. Defensive could have given some nice abilities. Or Terror could have given him some much more power out of his infantry with sort of seal or I don't know, inspired assault, incendiary firestorm and all that. He could even have called in a King Tiger at this stage and really push the advantage. But no, I mean, this is a bit of a disadvantage, and this is note a rank 16 or level 16, whatever. Wehrmacht commander. Volkskrone is getting gunned down right in the east, though, bit unfortunate. And looks like his front line has utterly collapsed despite all the barbed wire and sandbags. He made a few mistakes, and that cost him. Floating quite a bit of manpower and fuel, not really doing anything with it. Come on, IllusionorTruth, come on. Do something good for the 352nd, if you'd be so kind. And the Ostwind Flak Panzer immediately comes under fire from the anti-tank gun, but the sniper clears it out, although the MG42 opens up, doing a bit of damage. Ostwind, get out, Ostwind, no, Ostwind. And he tries to make it out, sniper clears out the anti-tank gun, and he might be lost. Oh dear, he gets killed. Apparently the American sniper finally gets the damn kill after I don't know how long. Pioneers moving forwards to immediately repair the Ostwinds. First one now with Veterans with one charging ahead, and looks like he's gone for Terror. Will he be going for the V1 rocket? That could actually do the trick, I suppose. What will he be going for? Apparently a firestorm right there, perhaps hoping to catch these riflemen, I'm not entirely sure. Ostwind crashes a few, kills another bunch. And oh my goodness, he lost his veteran rifleman teams. While he lost the Ostwind, at the same time the loss of those veteran riflemen is going to be quite costly for Cheezburglar, and he's certainly lacking a bit there. But something has come to equalize the field. The Calliope ready to unleash rocket hell upon the forces of the Wehrmacht, and another Ostwind. No infantry, no panzer force. I can't help but feel he's sort of wasting an opportunity really to push the advantage. And there we go, Calliope blasting away, bombarding the Wehrmacht positions. And I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. What is the current situation? Well, currently, I mean, IllusionorTruth has managed a bit of a coup there, but at the same time he's sort of bleeding. He's not really managing these sort of things you need, and he's losing too much in the process. But currently, though, he could still manage it if he would sort of go for something a bit more advanced. And yes, there we go. Panzer IV could be the key, and of course from the 2nd Panzer Division. Of course, he might also want to recruit that mortar and try to stay out of the barrages of the Calliope. But he could still win this. For the other hand, Cheezburglar, who did alright, certainly suffered quite a bit there. But then again, with Calliopes, we might certainly see something that can secure things for Cheezburglar. Although he's going to need some replacement infantry to replace those 2 infantry teams lost, which were some of his most veteran units. So that was quite a bitter loss. But currently, though, Cheezburglar still holds the advantage. He still holds most of the map. He still holds the initiative in some sense, and could still push through here if he knows what he's doing. We'll of course have to see how this all goes, though. Calliope barrage manages very little. Ostwind, though, in dire need of repairs. The crew with its nice Panzer crew cap, and we can even see the badges right there, nicely done by Half Track, I believe, or was no, that's the other chap. Of course, one thing to note about that little badge the Panzer crew has, the one with the death's head, was it had a rather unfortunate tendency of getting them mistaken for SS troops, which, while perhaps didn't matter so much with the American forces, although they didn't quite like them, with the Russians, though, they absolutely hated them and did absolutely terrible things to SS troops wherever caught. And so being a Panzer crewman, notwithstanding being part of it, usually wasn't quite so fun if you got captured. Fun fact there, riflemen getting gunned down by the MG42. Volkskrone is pushing through in the east, Pioneers joining in as well. Calliope providing some of the heavier fire, and apparently all it managed to kill was a lot of barbed wire. Yes, indeed. Barbed wire bane. This is the Calliope. Roar. Panzer IV advancing. Not entirely sure I like this skin though, but I don't know. I suppose it's not bad. Sniper coming under fire from the Ostwind, but he makes it away. And there we go, Panzer IV not leading the charge. No infantry support. Calliope blasting away. One thing I noticed why he couldn't perhaps also call in a V1 rocket while he was already calling in artillery, but let's not get caught up. Volkswagen is advancing, perhaps ready to push forwards with the Panzer IV. Would certainly need to be done now, if ever. Ostwind also joining into the fun. A concerted push by the 352nd with support from the 2nd Panzer Division. Anti-tank gun coming under fire, so is the Sherman Calliope. Panzer IV though not really hitting. Ostwind clears out the anti-tank gun, engineers forced away. Volkswagen is advancing. But oh dear, the riflemen with the Panzerschreck are still there. The bane of German armour, and the Calliope's frontal armour survives the impact of the Panzer IV. Not this time though, and the shot even managed to damage the engine. Oh dear, a mine, watch out! Oh dear, damaged engine on the Panzer IV as well, and it's time to look at a Cheezburglar. Calliope, and he's certainly now on the road for Pershing. Panzerschreck, oh dear, and a sticky bomb. And the Panzer IV is utterly doomed. Another shot from that Panzerschreck, and there we go. Panzer IV is no more. Ostwind now left all by itself with only a light support. Mortar team needs to get away. Retreat, oh dear, Mr. Mortar, retreat. No medic packs. And there we go, retreating. Volkswagen is trying to cover, and so are the Ostwind. Oh dear, the mortar didn't make it. Cleared out by the very veteran riflemen. Medics pulling in the wounded. Bunker being laid down here to sort of protect this point. Volkswagen is reinforcing once more. And the Calliope once more blasts away. In a huge arc of fire of death it flies, and the Ostwind gets blown to bits, ejecting the crew in a rather unfriendly manner. Killing the pioneers as well. Not quite a happy moment. Sniper though, apparently a fresh one. Moves about. Pioneers continuing to secure what they can there. Volkswagen is reinforcing. Panzer Command lighting up. Quite exciting. And oh dear, this sniper is going to get killed again. I can't help but feel IllusionorTruth is being a bit uncautious. Riflemen, they're running straight into the MG42, getting suppressed. Sniper gets... No, medic gets sniped. Veterans, the 3 riflemen were close to death, but they managed to get away from the MG42. And looks like this poor chap is getting pulled in. Snipers can in fact also be reconstituted. For grenadiers, of course, as long as they're wounded and not completely dead. Rifleman pushing through here. Machine gun bunker is up. Will the rifleman run straight into it? Yes, there we go. Getting suppressed. Continued fighting here. Grenadiers already taking up a position behind the remnants of the Ostwind. And riflemen make it out the arc of the MG42 bunker, but a Panzer IV number 2 is ready. Volkswagen with MP40s moving in to intercept. Others are moving forward to secure these positions once more. No one is actually using this sort of defensive position anymore after that many grenades got used at it. And Calliope fires away again, doing some nasty things to the infantry, causing a full retreat. Panzer IV marches forwards against these veterans, 2 riflemen. And a sticky bomb goes off. Quite unfortunate. And a lot of command points. Could certainly be soon we might see something more from Mr. Cheezburglar. Grenadiers and Volkswagen is retreating. Panzer IV rather damaged. Also very, very quiet. And for those of you wondering why the Calliope doesn't fire its main gun, well, it wasn't supposed to be fired. And that's the sort of fun thing, as you might have noticed there. The whole thing is sort of being stabilized on the gun, which basically meant that if the gun fired, the recoil would basically knock the entire rocket assembly off. So not quite fortunate there. Sniper running away from the Grenadiers. Grenadiers advancing. Advancing on the sniper and almost gunning him down. But no such luck. MG42 once more recruited by some dashing American riflemen. Medic station up actually by this stage. German forces pushing through here. They need some Volksgrenadiers. Others are being sent here to the west side. Nothing else going on as of yet. In the Wehrmacht camp. I need something to drink. Calliope once more blasting away. Oh dear, right at all this infantry, but no, it managed to avoid it, but they are getting cut down by everything else. By the riflemen, by the MG42, by the sniper, not doing well at all. They will need to retreat before it's too late, and still no infantry for his troops. I can't ever feel that's a bit of a mismanaged move there. And the grenadiers blown to bits by a Panzerschreck shot, my goodness. Other grenadiers getting torn apart as well. They need to retreat, and we see we see propaganda war on the riflemen. Sniper firing away. Grenadiers not looking very happy at this stage. Panzer IV German infantry securing what they can in the east, while in the west the 352nd is getting absolutely torn to bits. Not looking good at all. It certainly paid off well for Cheezburglar to go heavily on the infantry and then throw in a Calliope. Basically, I mean, he's been rather good in the aggressiveness and basically attacking for all points. Now the Panzer IV moves in once more unsupported. I'm not very keen on that. And of course the veterans, the 3 riflemen with the Panzerschreck moving in. Sticky bomb. And there we go, Panzer IV already down to half health. And another sticky bomb. This Panzer IV is not going to make it. And now the Calliope fires away, catching the Volksgrenadiers and the Panzer IV. But the Panzer IV, by a miracle, survives. Interestingly enough, there's only been one upgrade from the Kampfkraft Center, not even a veterancy, one upgrade for the infantry. And my goodness, what is this? Let's just pause. Knights Cross Shoulders, and yes indeed, the less blacks, nasty SS looking types and more elite looking infantry types, just with caps. That certainly looks a bit nicer right there, and with some Panzerschrecks on their backs. So quite a nice detail there, and they're moving ahead. So Knights Cross Holders sending in the best of the best that can be mustered by the 352nd. Panzer IV desperately trying to pull away, the engine on fire, absolutely not of much use there. Basically only prayers and spit holding that Panzer IV together, and what is this? The 3rd Panzer Division arriving with the big guns now. The Pershing moving in. The Panzer IV is not going to live longer. There we go. Knocked out by a Panzerschreck. The rifleman right there securing another kill for Uncle Sam. Medic bunker blown to bits. Knights Cross Holders just advancing right here. Sniper and some Volksgrenadiers moving in to keep things going. More Knights Cross Holders apparently. Although at this stage I can't help but feel that a Panther might be more necessary to deal with that Pershing list. Things go very, very wrong. American medics moving forwards, and I think there might have been a slight mistake here in all the skins. I can't help but feel they look awfully British. Oh well. Bad, weird things happen. And the Knights Cross Holders lead the charge from all sides, gunning away. Riflemen taking quite a pasting. Although then of course the Calliope opens up once more, scoring a few more easy kills, causing this rather impressive infantry force to turn tail and run. While the Pershing pushes forwards in the east, barbed wire, it cares not about Bocage, more like no cash. And this bunker is soon going to be a ruin. And there we go, opening up. Sniper sort of standing about. And bunker very slowly but surely getting blown to bits. And looks like the 352nd is making ready for another massive infantry surge, but still no heavy armor to really keep things going. No Panthers, no Königstigers, no King Tigers. And the Pershing cleared out the bunker. Not quite the good situation for the 352nd and IllusionorTruth, but let us go have a look. Although he looks like to be rather close. And using the sniper to call in a V1 rocket. Will the 352nd get something out of their vengeance weapons? Let us go have a look. Pack 38 discovered, right there. Clearing out the entire central area, knocking out. Not sure what that was, but certainly Trias Center, motor pool, and some other bits blown away, including that that 30 caliber machine gun emplacement. Knights Cross holders now with veterancy 2, finally getting some veterancy force infantry, blasting away. Although at this stage again, why did he go for that and not, for example, a Panther with some more veterancy force? And now the rest are simply getting torn to bits. Apparently he's calling in another V1. Is this some sort of error? Weird. Pershing advancing. Nothing going on in the Panzer Command. Looks like the Pershing will be having a field day. Absolutely nothing to oppose it anymore. The Pack 38 has been decrewed, and there's nothing else really. The 352nd can muster against such a potent foe. Pershing continuing its hunt for Germans, perhaps hoping to catch a sniper, but just finding this Pack 38 and disabling it, thus preventing the Wehrmacht from getting any sort of anti-tank assets recruit. We'll have to see what IllusionorTruth and the 352nd will do in the face of this. Riflemen advancing, Grenadiers and False Grenadiers heading each their own ways, including the Knights Cross soldiers. Apparently one team has already been lost. Again, quite unfortunate, but certainly a rather ad hoc looking force, which you can't help but really feels better much looking with the sort of nature of Normandy and the Wehrmacht by 1944. Still would have been nice to see something official from Relic, and looks like he's saving up for a Panther, Panzerkampfwagen 5. And Volkswagen is getting suppressed by an MG42 lying in wait, ambushing and opening up on them, suppressing and killing them. The rest are pushing through here. Calliope looking a bit exposed, but veterancy 3, it's simply tearing through everything, forcing the Wehrmacht troops once more to run, some getting absolutely shredded. Sniper sort of dashing about, looking cheeky, and looks like a tank depot is going up. A Königstiger has arrived, the King Tiger, to save the day, perhaps. Crashing through the countryside without any sort of support. That's less good.
Yeah, ready to punch back the Yankees.
Grenadiers, Knights Cross holders, and False Grenadiers getting reinforced ever slowly, but Knights Cross holders marching ahead already to sort of support the King Tiger. Riflemen running away in the face of it, realizing that even their Panzerschrecks can't do much.
One of our sectors has
Heroically peeking up from it. Could be even IllusionorTruth going forwards. Force of Fatherland, Knights Cross holders linking up. Good show there. Always keep your King Tiger supported. They are powerful but slow beasts, and they do have their vulnerabilities. And then he continues, discontinues to support it.
Yes, Kamerad.
Apparently he wasn't having a Panther in mind, but a King Tiger, Königstiger. Or Königstiger. Moving forwards. 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 And the Pershing is caught in its sight. The high velocity 88mm gun opening up but missing. Pershing shot on the other hand simply fails to do anything. Still absolutely no support for the King Tiger. I can't help but feel that's a bad move. It's only a bit unfortunate for someone who's level 16 or rank 16. Riflemen coming under fire, trying to sticky bomb it. Yes, they get away with it. Will it actually disable the engine? Or at least damage it? Yes, indeed. Quite unfortunate. Bunker going up. Could be he's planning a repair bunker, actually. Knights Cross holders coming under fire from the veterancy 3 riflemen and getting absolutely shredded in seconds. Their heroic armor doing nothing. Again, I mean, you have to... Again, veterancy 3 riflemen are absolute beasts. They can tear through pretty much everything in seconds. They do incredible damage. And there we go. Tank destroyer moving ahead. Squishing a few Knights Cross soldiers. Bunker up. Will it be a repair bunker? Come on, IllusionorTruth. Grenadiers picking up that Panzerschreck which was stopped by the riflemen. And then getting bombarded. I can't help but feel he might be better off. He actually, yes, there we go, moving them and upgrading to a repair bunker as suspected. Knights Cross soldiers once more getting reinforced. I actually rather like these chaps. They look a lot more, well, elite and dashing and all that. So jolly good show there by the Mr. Half-Track. Pershing sort of hanging about, feeling rather confident in itself, considering there's no King Tiger near about. Volksgrenadiers opening up on the riflemen. Riflemen opening up again. Volksgrenadiers getting absolutely shredded in seconds. Volksgrenadiers need to retreat lest they... Oh dear, cut down, not good. King Tiger moving forward, crashing through the bocage. Or what? Come on, make a decision. And Volksgrenadiers coming under fire from the riflemen. Who shall win? Who shall be the victor? Apparently not the Volksgrenadiers, they have been suppressed and are now retreating. King Tiger moving forwards. Absolutely no infantry support because all infantry is being directed towards the east. And Jeep now getting caught in the sights. No, but it has spotted the King Tiger and the Pershing pulls away in response. German troops securing what they can in the east. And looks like something is moving in to support some pioneers. Pershing takes a hit. Grenadiers getting shredded by the Calliope rockets. Good show there. The Calliope being a rather vicious vehicle. 20 kills and an armor kill. Lots of tank destroyers. M10s, not M18s. Though. Marching forwards. And the Pershing coming under quite a bit of fire from the King Tiger. Down to half health, but the Pershings, the M10s are moving in. Could be flanking, could be flanking. Yes, there we go. King Tiger needs to get back to safety. And looks, no, that's a Jeep, not another M10. And there we go, getting behind it, getting to hit the rear armor, the soft spot. Oh dear. And again, that's why you don't want to move in without infantry support. I mean, those Grenadiers with a Panzerschreck could have been of immense help. And there we go. Sticky bomb on the King Tiger, doing quite a bit of damage. But the engine is still there. That was quite fortunate. Grenadiers with Panzerschrecks are moving in. Will they secure? And that King Tiger mustn't stop moving. Another sticky bomb down to below half health. My goodness. M10 could be knocked out, but the Grenadiers. Riflemen retreating. King Tiger again needs to keep moving, keep pulling back towards the base. M10 moving in for a rear shot, but main gun destroying behind only the Pershing. Pioneers moving forward to repair, and looks like Cheezburglar's gone for the self-auto repair ability or whatever it's called. Damaged engine, but the main gun is still functional. Oh dear, King Tiger. Wehrmacht losing most of its territory. A rear hit. Oh dear, oh dear. Damaged engines. And out of control, King Tiger. M10 knocked out. Will the King Tiger score a final kill? Yes, there we go. Pershing out of control as well. M10 hits a mine. Damaged engine. Easy target for the Panzerschreck. Knights Cross soldiers retreating. The Wehrmacht base an absolute mess. Panther could be called in. Immobilized. M10 though. Engine absolutely wrecked. Treads are gone. And now the M10 is gone as well. Rather dirty fighting on all sides. Heavy losses for both. But I can't help but feel that things are looking the worst for IllusionorTruth. 352nd now calling upon a Panther to sort of try and equalize the situation after the Königstiger from the Schwerer Panzerabteilung 503 was absolutely blasted to bits. Quite unfortunate. Didn't quite manage what was hoped. Grenadiers getting engaged by the veterans, the 3 riflemen now with 39 kills and 2 armor kills. Absolutely evil riflemen, and there we go. Grenadiers taking quite a pasting in the face of this. Sniper advancing. Panzerfaust at the jeep, and Volksgrenadiers forced to retreat as the veterans, the 3 riflemen, tear through them. Knights Cross holders ready to fight. Now they just need a Panther to carry the fight while the Calliope advances.
Heavy Panzer commissioned to the front.
And there we go, and there we also go, an artillery barrage right as the Panther arrives. Pershing getting secured for resources. And let us return to Cheezburglar. What is he up to? Perhaps saving up for another Pershing? Yes, indeed. Which is certainly going to be quite a challenge for that Panther to take on. There we go, once more charging ahead, trying their best against the American infantry. The Knights Crossholders are having some luck, but they are again simply taking too much damage. Jeep moving in, clearing out that sniper. Oh dear, Jeep knocked out. Rifleman retreating in the face of the Knights Crossholders. Panther getting repaired, ready to move in and perhaps support what remains of the 352nd. Having sent in what few of their most veteran troops remain. How shall things look? I do not know. Oh, so very quiet. Panther advancing. And finally some infantry support of his armor, although some Volksgrenadiers not entirely keen on the Panther moving so close to the infantry. Again, I mean, they have sticky bombs. But one rifleman goes down. Panther has a damaged engine. Bit predictable. Pershing scores already 2 kills on the Grenadiers. Oh, so very quiet.
Front lines are collapsing. Stand firm, allies. The battle is ours.
And the Calliope once more blasts away. Rifleman advancing against the Panther. Panther fires away, but he misses. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Volksgrenadiers were trying to move to support. Knights Crossholders charging ahead. Fresh ones apparently. And gunning down the riflemen. Another sticky bomb on the Panther, rendering it slightly more vulnerable. Panther opens up on the Pershing though. The high velocity gun of the Panther though was quite effective. And the Pershing is now taking quite some damage. Knights Crossholders not giving up either despite terrible wounds. Volksgrenadiers on the other end. There we go, both retreating. Panther advancing slowly for duty, for honor, and apparently because there's not much else to do. Fires away. Forced retreat. Propaganda war on the riflemen. Panther and Pershing engaging. The Panthers are currently having the advantage, ever so slightly. The frontal armor of the Panther was quite impressive. 80mm of sloped armor. Plus its high velocity gun actually made it quite a threat. Panther advancing against Pershing. Pershing with its 90mm gun actually, but not quite the same velocity as the Panther's guns. It didn't quite manage the same, I believe. Then again, they were actually a bit about the same in terms of penetration, but I believe the Panther might have a slight advantage. Knights Crossholders once more charging in. M10 charging in. Gets hit by a... No, it actually dodges it and moves in to hit the rear. Oh dear, the Panther might lose it now. And a Calliope barrage, turning all of this into a complete disaster for the 352nd and the 2nd Panzer Division support company. Pershing knocked out.
Pershing lost.
Panther main gun destroyed. Oh dear. And knocked out by the M10, scoring a kill for Uncle Sam. Another M10 moving forwards. Grenadiers getting squished beneath the treads. Not looking good for those chaps.
The enemy now
And the Grenadiers making a run for it. Barely anything left. Knights Cross holders apparently being the only thing left, except some pioneers. So looking very lonely for IllusionorTruth 352nd, while Cheezburglar delivers the killing blow.
Enemy unit down.
Oh my goodness, the Knights Cross holders were just splattered beneath the treads of the Wolverine. Oh, the horror. But there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this game. I hope you've learned some things. I mean, I hope you noticed the good use of barbed wire by IllusionorTruth. The interesting use of mines. Trouble was, of course, it was a bit too late in getting veterancy, and more importantly, very late in getting a doctrine choice. Very bad that. And he was also not too good in pushing any advantages he might have possibly have gained. So that was a bit too much. I mean, he was a bit too defensive again. But Cheezburglar, on the other hand, quite aggressive, attacking from all sides, really doing his best to sort of press through at every cost possible. And he certainly did overwhelm the positions of IllusionorTruth's 352nd Panzer Division. Nice usage of armor, good usage of the M10s. I mean, you don't engage German armor from the front, you try to flank him. I mean, he even did it with his Pershing. Good show there again. Try to flank always, don't just engage from the front. Very important bit that. Good usage of the armored doctrine in general, I feel. And good usage of riflemen. I mean, he really 2 veterancy, 3 riflemen, although 1 was lost to a firestorm. That's still quite impressive. Good unit preservation for quite a bit of while there. Although the medic station could have been a bit earlier, in my opinion. And of course, good use of the supply yard. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.